Hi friends, this is Kevin Burke of Rachel's Vineyard Ministries. What I'm about to share with you is from an article Teresa and I published July 5th in PregnancyHelpNews.com titled "A Mother Shatters the Lies of Reproductive Choice." So let's get started. Since the overturn of Roe v. Wade in June 2022, the abortion landscape continues a dramatic shift away from procedures performed in abortion facilities or hospitals to the at-home use of abortion pills. Soon, 7 out of 10 abortions will use what proponents call abortion medication to end an unplanned pregnancy. Medication abortion further reinforces the image of abortion as a private and personal medical decision between a woman and her healthcare provider. No one else's business, and to deny women access to this treatment is cruel and dangerous and a violation of a woman's reproductive rights. Now, Dora's experience presents a very different story. And it's one that the public desperately needs to hear. Because friends, the truth is the decision to abort often involves a number of very influential friends, family, and most importantly, the father of the baby. In addition, Dora's testimony attacks the lies that the abortion pills are a simple medical intervention to end a pregnancy. Medication abortion is often an emotionally and physically traumatic experience for women, but is also possibly traumatic for those men who are present with their partners during an at-home abortion. When Dora shared with her boyfriend about their unexpected pregnancy, she desperately wanted to hear some openness to support and parent their developing baby. And she asked the question to feel him out. How are we going to tell our parents? His response broke her heart. He said, "There are other options, you know." Dora went on to share a very interesting recollection as they drove back to his apartment. Dora says, "I don't know why I took a picture of us that same evening in my car. I've looked back on that picture often, wishing I could go back to that precise moment and tell him that I choose my baby. I don't know why I keep that photo, but I do. Every now and then I look back and I see such sadness behind a smile. And I remember those intense feelings and the brokenness that was beginning to form." You see, this young mother instinctively understood that they were approaching a precipice, and whatever decision they made, it would be life-changing. The photo serves as a snapshot in time of mother, child, father, alive, intact, together. A family portrait what could have been if the father of her child would have supported the secret desire of a mother's heart. When they arrived at the apartment, the boyfriend's roommate and his 2 friends were watching TV, and the couple shared about the pregnancy, and Dora remembers their response. She says, "The rest of the evening consisted of them sitting down with me in the living room and telling me the best choice was to abort." Dora was hit with the reality of if she decided to continue with this pregnancy, she would have no support of friends or family. The baby's fathers further proceeded to extinguish any hope that he would support her desire to give life to this baby. He told Dora, "My cousin recently got a girl pregnant, and his mom and dad were so disappointed in him and felt it ruined his life. I cannot disappoint my parents like this." So Dora remembers at the time of the pregnancy that she was obsessed and infatuated with her boyfriend. She panicked, thinking that unless she aborted their child, she would lose her boyfriend. She says, "Sadly, I fell for the pressure and I fell for the lies." So he made an appointment the following week at Planned Parenthood to end the pregnancy. And she was alone that day when she went in for the appointment. Dora shares, "They gave me a small cup of pills, and almost immediately I regretted my decision. In tears, I asked the nurse if I could take back my decision. She said, if I didn't go through with the second dose, my baby would most likely have severe damage and disabilities. So once again, my fear kicked in and made me choose to continue." So now Dora returned to her boyfriend's apartment, and here she took the second abortion pill. And she shares her experience. "As I put the pills in my mouth and let them dissolve, within 10 minutes I started to feel intense cramps. When the cramps became unbearable, I made my way to the bathroom. I locked the door and experienced the most severe pain I have ever felt in my life. I sat on the toilet, and bent over in pain. I wanted to scream, but my boyfriend and his friends were right outside the door in the living room watching TV. It was a very small apartment. I grabbed a towel to bite on in order to keep from screaming, and I was nearly passing out. She goes on. As I got up, I saw blood everywhere. I saw parts of my baby, an image I will never be able to erase from my mind. I fell to my knees in pain and was blacking out. Concerned that the guys would see all the blood and clumps, I got on my knees and cleaned it up. Throughout the intensity, all I could think of was, they cannot see this and be as traumatized and scared as I have been. As soon as I left the bathroom, I was about to faint when my boyfriend helped me to bed. Friends, it's striking how this mother's natural care and concern, her deep sensitivity to the feelings of others, was dangerously exploited by this abortion procedure and experience. After 2 weeks of intense clinical depression, which followed her abortion medication, Dora went to a follow-up appointment at Planned Parenthood. And the exam indicated that the medication abortion was not successful. Dora shares, parts of my baby were still inside of me. The nurse told her that if she had missed her appointment, she could have died from the complications of infection. Dora now needed an emergency D&C. She shares of that experience. The nurse sent me immediately to a room for the procedure, and all I could hear were women screaming from the hallways. It sounded like a torture house. At this point, I was crying my eyes out. My whole body was shaking in panic. When the nurse saw how bad I was, she offered me more sedatives to calm me down. I took many more and became completely numb, both physically and emotionally. I was a zombie. So Dora's boyfriend then picked her up after the procedure, and as he did, she just let loose with cries of grief and loss. Nothing could console this traumatized mother's heart or her empty womb. Now, rather than seeing the truth that she was exploited and manipulated during a time of great vulnerability, Dora directed her pain and anger inward, blaming herself. Dora shares what her life was like during those 6 months. She says, the next 6 months of my life were pure darkness, pure depression. I started drinking heavily and smoking weed every day to escape. I would often cut myself with razors to release the pain that I had inside. For Dora, panic attacks and anxiety became a weekly occurrence. She even considered suicide, going so far as to write letters of goodbye to loved ones. She dropped out of nursing school, and she required additional surgeries due to a very insistent endometriosis from the abortion procedures. And she saw these complications, as some women do after abortions. She saw these as a kind of a judgment from God. Her OBGYN told her that she would struggle to conceive in the future and perhaps would never carry a child to term. To make matters worse, the very relationship that she hoped to save by aborting her child soon became another casualty of her reproductive health care decision. Dora entered a period of drugs and promiscuity, and she lost all respect for the precious gift of her body, heart, and soul that were so damaged by her abortion experience. Thankfully, through the grace and mercy of God, Dora was prompted to open her heart to the possibility of emotional and spiritual healing, and she reached out for the healing that she needed. And Jesus heard Dora's desperate cry for help that came out of her broken mother's heart. Listen to this beautiful witness from Dora. She shares, I am no longer the same broken woman I was before. God has restored and redeemed me, and in Him I am a new creature. I am now a child of God, clean, sober, no longer self-injuring myself, and happily married with 2 beautiful boys. My dear friends, if any of you know someone or you have personally experienced abortion loss, perhaps a medication abortion, and it has hurt you physically and emotionally, no matter what your role was in that decision, whether you were a father pushing it or unable to stop it, or a mother who was talked into the procedure or wanted the procedure at the time, doesn't matter. If you desire emotional, spiritual healing, Rachel's Vineyard is here for you. We will offer the love and mercy and forgiveness and healing of the Lord with no judgment. You can go to rachelsvineyard.org for more information on healing programs in your area. Dear friends, let's hope that the light of truth will shatter the lies and dispel the darkness. In addition to sharing this video, you can find a written version of what I shared with you today at pregnancyhelpnews.com. The article is entitled "A Mother Shatters the Lies of Reproductive Choice," and it was published on July 5th, 2024. You can also find Dora's written testimony on the Sound No More Awareness campaign website, and you can find a list of zip code generated resources for abortion healing that are in your area. You just put your zip code in and you'll see a number of different programs, including Rachel's Vineyard. And you can find that at abortionforgiveness.com. My dear friends, may the Lord bless you with his peace and joy and with the light of his truth.